Step into the light where the wild ones roam, where the heart speaks loud, calling this place home. We break the rules, we paint the sky, ridiculously you, we were born to fly. Ooh, it's ridiculously you.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ridiculously You podcast. I am your host, Julie May, and this is where we celebrate people who are brave enough to take up space, own their power, stop apologizing for who they are. And today's guest has, for a couple of decades now, helped women do exactly that. She is a self-defense expert. She's a women's safety advocate, former Mrs. Nevada, model, public speaker, mother of two, and founder of Defense in Heels, which I love the cute pink heels in the background. I'm like a pink girly, so I love that. She's
Thank you.
worked as a bodyguard for celebrities, trained thousands of women around the world, and built an entire career about helping women feel safer, stronger, and more confident in their skin. I love all of that. Today, we're going to talk about self defense, confidence, intuition. We may get into domestic violence stuff a little bit, real bit on recovery on those kinds of things, boundaries, motherhood, all of those things about safety, peace, and that you are worth protecting and having your power in. This is Patti Stewart. So, yeah, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to dive into all of this.
I am excited too. So where did your interest in self-defense come from? Because, I know a lot of people who have had hard times before, been in crappy relationships, but they don't necessarily get straight into, and now I'm gonna be a self-defense advocate. So, like, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I do fall into a lot of the statistics, but like you said, most people don't go in that direction afterwards.
Yeah.
I was actually working at a police department. I was doing my internship there, and they had a women's self-defense course, and it was me and a type A aggressive cop teaching the class. And it was one of those where like he shut me down during the class. I was the co-instructor. I knew this guy on a personal and professional level, and he shut me down. And so I was like, well, if he's shutting me down, he's shutting everybody down. So of course it takes a while to kind of come to your senses once you shut down. And once I came to my senses, that's why I was like, okay, I'm going to take over now, because clearly you don't know how to speak to women. And I just kind of took over the class. And it was one of those, like, when women said that they couldn't do something, and then we talk them through it, we break it down, and at the very end, they're like, oh my God, I can do it. Like, there's a fire in their eyes. And that became my high. So then I, of course, started chasing the high, which is even better because I'm actually making a difference in this world by helping women and teaching women and building their confidence and giving them the skills and tools they need. But I get to like have a business out of it, and I get to, fill my bucket while I'm building their confidence. Like, it just kind of all rolled into this amazing platform.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Why is self-defense important to you? Like, why is that important to you personally?
Because I do fall into the crime stats. I don't want my children or anyone else to fall into those crime stats. And the stats are getting worse. Now, part of that is just because of the awareness. People are finally reporting things. Like, we grew up in a time of you don't report things, it's family business, leave it alone, don't talk about it. However, the Me Too movement really changed how women and society views crime stats now, and finally coming forward and finally seeking resources and assistance to finally make those changes. But as they do that, the stats are getting worse, which, like I said, really they were bad the whole time. It's just now we see those horrendous numbers. It says, 1 in 3 women will be victims of domestic violence. 1 in 4 women will be a victim of sexual assault. And the stats are not pretty. So that's kind of my thing, is I want to change those stats. I want to build our community and make it a safer place for women and children.
How many, like, I don't know the numbers, I'm sure you do. How many violence actions are really like in the home before, like, compared to like a random person? I would think the stats are pretty high that it's somebody close to
They
you that you
are.
know.
Yeah. So your home is the most violent place as a woman. The second is parking lots and stairwells. But then when it comes to like the people, there's more than an 80 to 90% chance you intimately know your attacker. Like it's not the random stranger danger like we were taught. It's somebody you know. It is your husband, it is your brother, it is your cousin, it is a boyfriend, it's mom's boyfriend, those types of things. Those are the people who are attacking you and who the crimes against women, the numbers are going. It's not the random strangers like we see in all the crime docs and everything.
So being somebody like it's like, let's say it's your spouse. It doesn't, I'm going to say, I don't think anyway, it starts out that you get married, you go home, and it's like, surprise, I'm an abuser. I'm just going to hit you out of the blue. I'm a domestic violence survivor from my ex, my last marriage. And it like built over time. It was like
Mhm.
emotional manipulation and control and things that kind of built over time. So like what are some warning signs? What are some like things to do before it gets to like the violence precipice where, all of a sudden a chair's being thrown at you or something?
Yeah,
What happens before them? What are the things they say and do? And like, what can you do before you get to the violence portion?
definitely. So you mentioned how it was the control. That is a big part of it. So it's, if they're starting to control who you can talk to. If this friend's been your friend for
Yeah.
20 years and all of a sudden, I don't like her, you can't talk to her anymore. Like you need to pick me or her. Well, I'm married. I kind of have to pick you, but that's my best friend. Like something little like that. And then it's, oh,
Mm,
well, you didn't check in when you went out with your friends. Talk to you every hour. That's not enough. You need to update me every location, every single thing you do. Those little tiny things where you're like, okay, this is weird, but like whatever. But you'll notice it's not just one, it'll be multiple. And like you said, it's not like an overnight thing. It's not you get married and the next day this happens. This is something that in a relationship it develops and they slowly, progressively become more aggressive in their communication styles and in their control. So simple in the beginning, but pay attention to those little red flags. And don't be afraid to walk away. Like it's safer to walk away than it is to deal with it because then it does turn into the chair throwing and the wall hitting. He's willing to hit a wall, he's willing to hit you.
mm,
So leave
that's such a
that
good
person.
note.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
one of those like we don't leave because we're like, oh well, it's just the wall. He was just mad. No, like he's showing you what he's going to do to you. And so it's
Hmm.
really like we also have to keep our circle. So that whole it takes a village to raise a kid. It also takes a village to maintain your community. So don't lose those support systems because those support systems is who they are going to push you away from and make you pick between your support system and them because once they isolate you, they have full control over you. So making sure you have that support system so that you can still reach out to that person and hey, I need your help or hey, I need to leave or even bouncing things off like hey, he did this, this, and this. Like, am I like losing my mind or is this a bad thing? And your true support systems will tell you.
Yeah. Well, I think that's how it goes though. They gaslight you. You feel like you're a
Mm-hmm.
crazy person. You're like, and then it is like, well, it was just the wall. It was, I mean, they're frustrated. At least they have an outlet. They're taking it out in a proper way. They're not doing anything to me. And then all of a sudden it is. So, like, how do you tell the difference between somebody who's having a bad day or going through a rough patch or something that's going to turn into possibly domestic violence later
Are they taking it out on an animal and a human? Because
on?
yes, we all have our bad days, and sometimes we need just to vent it out. But are they venting it out or are they taking it out on you? Especially animals. That's a really good way to watch is how are they treating the animals? Because like if a man's really upset and he kicks his dog, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
And and that's like a red flag that we're like, oh well, he was just raised that way. So like I don't like it, but he was raised that way. No, he's showing you what's okay, and he's showing you what he's going to continue to do. So I think paying attention to little things like that, as well as, is he just taking it out on you or does he take it out on everybody? Is it one of those things where like he's blaming you for his decisions and his behavior? Because he's responsible for his own behavior. But is it your
Right.
fault for his behavior? Because that's something that you can notice early on and get away from.
Yeah. So you find yourself in a bad position. You ignored all of your intuition. You did the thing
Yeah.
because we're all human, and now you're in a bad spot. What's your biggest tips for people?
If you still have your support system, go to them
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to tell them you need help. As women, we don't like to use that word very often anymore because we are strong, independent women and we don't need anybody, but we do need our people. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask your friends, like, hey, I need to talk to you, or hey, I need to get away. And I kind of need to be sheltered for a minute. And they're going to be your voice of reason. So domestic violence shelters and resources in your town, totally go to them. But you might not be ready to. Like, I love the fact that hopefully you can call your friend and your friend will be that voice of reason to get them involved. Because
Yes.
you will have no voice of reason. You're going to be going off of your love brain, not your logic brain.
Mm-hmm.
So that go to that friend, have that friend call that domestic violence shelter or whatever resource it is for you to slowly get you out of it. And then keep in mind that it takes an average of 9 to 12 times of leaving before you actually leave. But leave the first time and stay gone the first time, because that statistic also shows that you leave in a body bag.
Yeah.
And so we want to avoid the body bag. And that many times, we want you to go to your friends and get that resource in right then and there, and that help right then and there the first time, not the fifth. Now, if it's your fifth, I'm glad you're still reaching out. I'm glad you're calling your friends. I'm glad you're still alive. But leave the first time.
Right. So good. So, what do you wish you had known that like you're trying to instill in your kids? What do you wish that would be that you're trying to have them understand?
Leaving the first time. That's a big one. Not getting rid of your circle, but
Yeah.
also the confidence and losing yourself. I 100% lost myself in that relationship, and I became what he wanted me to be, which was not me at all. And it was one
Mm.
of those, I had no confidence. I had no self-respect. I had no, like, I didn't think I was pretty. I just went off, oh, I was a size 2 at the time and he told me I was fat. So you're right, I am fat. And, I weighed a whole 99 pounds at 5'9", which is
Oh my goodness.
ridiculous. But I listened to, who I thought was my person, not picking up on all the flags. Now, I also grew up around domestic violence. So that was normal for me. We tend to repeat
Yeah.
patterns. That was a big one, is I realized I was repeating the same pattern I grew up in. And so I
Mm.
had to break that cycle for my children and make sure that they saw, maybe we're not together, but at least I'm happy now. I'm safe now. This is not what a healthy relationship looks like. No relationship is better than that. And so that was a big thing, like I instilled in my children. And then in all my self-defense classes, it's build that confidence back up, build yourself back up, figure out what you like to do for fun again, and be you again, so that you can leave, that you can get out of the situation, and you don't find yourself back in one of those situations. Because like I said, repeating that cycle, we often go back into another domestic violence situation because we haven't fixed ourselves in between and refigured out
Yeah.
who we are in between. So that's my big thing for like my kids and all my classes and everything.
So you talked about losing yourself in that relationship. What were the big things you did to find yourself again? Because it's like that's a word we say. Well, go find yourself and find like what were the actual things you did to go,
Yeah.
okay, I gotta figure out what Patty likes.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so like therapy, of course, number one. We all need it. Now, I like therapy because I like having a licensed professional tell me I'm normal. That my thought patterns, that I think I am crazy, and oh my God, what's going through my head? A licensed professional saying, no, that's normal. You're processing. This is what normal people do. Whereas, my whole life I was told that was crazy. So that was
Yes.
step one. But then it was
Helpful.
also what I did was I journaled out what actually makes me happy.
Mm.
And it was like, do I actually like going to the lake, or do I go to the lake because he likes the lake? So what is it about the lake that I like? And figuring out, do I like that or not like that? And then on to the next thing. And then it was even like simple little things like accolades. Am I doing the accolades because I want them or because somebody else wants them for me? And I
Mm.
realized I don't care about awards. I was winning tons of awards. They're just a piece of paper or a little thing on the shelf.
You're like,
They did
I
not
don't
bring me
even
to joy.
care.
Yeah, no. And that was just it. Is like I had to have all of them before to prove that I was a somebody, only to realize that they don't actually bring any value to my life. But it was that journaling it out and the pro con list of figuring out, like, am I doing it for me or for someone else? And I kind of did that with every step of everything: my weight, my hair color, what I want in a person versus who he was. Um, Also what I'm willing to accept, what I'm not willing to accept in a relationship. But then I had to go into friendships too. Is this a friend that actually brings value to my life? Or is it one of those that I feel drained afterwards every single time? So I had to
Mm.
like cut out friends and move people around. And even one of the random things I did was figure out what the word friend actually means to me. Because we're
Oh,
taught in school that anybody that's nice to you is your friend. Anybody that you go to school with is your friend. Anybody you hang out with is your friend. But what is a
yeah.
friend? So like that was something I had to figure out after because I was told what to think all those years. And then I finally just like figured it out for myself and like what values it brings to me or doesn't bring to me or whatnot. That was kind of like the process of how I had to find myself after. And it was a lot of like isolation and just figuring myself out in that process, but also, you know, bringing it back to who I was before him and also the new version of me. Because the new version is, you know, completely different, but also not. Like if you saw high school me, it's same as, you know, 40s me. But, you know, there's those years in between that it just wasn't me.
Yeah. So as you were going through that process, so this is the friend thing is hard because I'm like, okay, so you step away from spouse, you have that, and then you're like, well, at least I have my friends, and then you're starting to look at that and go, but do I know? And then it's like, you have to like go through that process. So were there people that you had to just go, I don't know that we are friends. We're like,
Oh,
what did
yeah.
you do in that? And then how did like you make new friends? Because
Yeah.
that's a
So,
scary thing to be like, I don't have you, I don't have any of you, and here I am by
yes.
myself.
Okay. Like it was so scary, but so great at the same point. Because,
Yeah,
well, after a divorce, you lose a ton of friends anyways, because they pick sides.
yeah,
Totally normal. Same thing after breakups. Totally normal.
yeah.
But when you're like, oh, this is my friend, and now you're analyzing if they're truly your friend, that's hard because there were some people that I thought were best friends, that I thought were my ride or die people, that I realized we don't have the same values. They don't treat me the way that I treat them. I'm more of a, hey, I need to go get her up a drink friend. And you're the last person I texted versus a first person I think of kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I slowly went into the whole, I'm going to stop texting them, see what happens to
Hmm.
get nothing until, you know, you find out you're that backup of a backup of a backup friend. And I did that a lot, but I actually went through an entire year. I did this again recently too, where I like literally analyzed all the friends and I kind of put them in categories of like, this is somebody I want to hang out with all the time. This is somebody that's like fun from time to time. This is somebody I would call for help. This is actually like a person I want in my life. Or like these are just, you know, the sometimes they have whatever's. But then I
Right.
prioritized it, you know, just in my head, because I'm not going to tell them to their face that, you know, you're a level 5, you're a level 2. Like, but then I cut a ton of people off. I even went through my phone and just deleted numbers or turned them into like the gravestones. That was so freeing to do. And then just not reaching out and following on social media, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which goes back into that isolation a little bit again. But like you said, the building of new friends. Um, I love business networking. And
Mm.
oddly enough, most of my friends are from business networking. When I moved to Vegas, I knew
Yeah.
one person. And most of my entire support system and circle of friends and the crazy ones, the ones I will rely on, all those things, they're from business networking. So that's once I was, you know, done with the cutting off, I went back into business networking and made new friends that way and hobbies. If you don't have a hobby, always have your own hobby. Regardless of your relationship status, you need your own. You can share it, but it's yours. Like you don't do it
Yeah.
together, it's yours. Um, and so that was another thing I did is I like threw myself in my hobby hardcore and developed even more friendships. And
Mm.
all friendships, you know, have a season. So some come and go, but it was really like that really helped after to build myself back up because I'm doing something fun. I'm doing something I like. I'm meeting new people. I'm hanging out with the people that I do like. Now I do know the kind of people I like and I don't like. So I'm gonna like move myself in a certain direction of friends and kind of go with the ones that I do want to build with. And then just continue to work on myself throughout the whole process. So it's a roller coaster, but it's also super fun when you look at it through the lens of I get to choose where I go in life. I get to choose who I want in my life. I get to choose all the fun stuff. And there's a crazy saying. Oh, I'm only available for fuck yes energy.
I
Not
love that. It's one of my favorite
right.
things right now.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
exactly it.
I totally like embodied it because I'm like, if it's a, I really don't want to. No, that's a no. If it's a, oh,
Yeah,
that sounds
exactly.
cool, it's a no. If it's not, hell yes, I'm there. Let's go. Then it's a no, and that
Yes.
completely
Yeah.
changes things too.
Yeah. One of the things I that really helped me, I think when I was like growing up, young 20s, that kind of time, I kind of had this idea that, you built these friendships and they were supposed to last forever, and every marriage was supposed to last forever, and everything like that's what you were building. Like, and so
Yeah,
like the idea that came in and what I started figuring out was like it's okay for people to be correct for a season or
yeah,
serve their time as a lesson and then
yeah,
move
yeah.
on.
That part.
And that part, right? But when I realized it could be the most beautiful thing for a season and then for it not to be correct or aligned for me anymore was totally beautiful and okay. Made all of my friendships and all of my relationships so much easier. It was like,
Yes,
oh, I don't have
so
to
much.
cling to this just because it was really great then. Now it's weird and awkward. I don't have to
Yeah,
do it for forever.
exactly. No, and you're right. That's like a total mind shift change, because we are taught like forever and ever, but the
Yeah,
seasons makes it more fun. I had a best friend. I freaking loved her. We're not friends anymore. That's okay. I still value what we had back then. So
exactly.
I love that you went through that too, because most people think I'm crazy when I talk about it.
Yeah. Well, and it's not. They think because you move on or head in a different direction that it wasn't meaningful or you didn't appreciate it for what it was. And it's like, no, I loved it. I appreciated it. However, they're in this clear other direction now. I'm clear over here now, and it's clashy and it's not a
100%.
thing anymore. And that's
Yes.
okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. Tell me about the heels. It's defense in heels. Tell me about the
Yes.
high heels.
Okay, so of course I'm in Las Vegas. So even if you're at a casino, you wear high heels. It's just kind of the environment of Las Vegas. But also, I was Mrs. Nevada. My daughter was Miss Nevada. So we wear heels a lot. And a lot of women are like, oh, I can't protect myself because I'm in heels, or I have to wear heels at work. So, like, I can't do anything. When in reality, it's more of, hey, that's a weapon. Like, think of a stiletto to anywhere on the body. That's a
Oh yeah.
weapon. Yeah. So we even have like classes on how to teach people how to walk in heels properly. Not a lot of women actually know how to walk in their heels. And then all the way up to like the hands-on self-defense, and then even with the heels on. So that was kind of how it all started, because I'm really big in the modeling and the pageant world, and I wanted something
Mm.
that was realistic to the women who are wearing heels every day, and even like the fancy gowns or the crazy outfits, like how to protect yourself in what you're actually wearing.
So that's such an interesting combination because I think people think of people in the defense field or like that it's like gruff and butch and whatever. And you're like, no, no. Additionally, I was Patrick
Yeah,
Girl and Pretty Little Princess. So did anyone
exactly.
ever like think that was a weird combo? Were they like,
All the time.
okay, all the
Yeah,
time? So how did you
all the time.
overcome that?
Yeah, no, it's crazy because you're right. Like, they're very much like type A. I'm totally type A too, but I'm a girly girl. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it in 6-inch heels with with my purse on. My earrings, like that is my thing. And
Yeah.
so I mean, every conference I go to, every other self-defense instructor I meet, they're like, no, you have to do it this way. And what I think everybody tends to forget is that there's 1,000 ways to do everything. That's why we're all
Hmm.
unique, because you can do it differently. I'm coming from the feminine version. I don't want you to be like this aggressive person. I want you to be able to get out of the situation and look cute in the process, because we like our earrings and our heels and our cute outfits and whatnot. So, I mean, I'm constantly criticized for the name and for the fact that I come in girly. I even have taught a class in a dress before and had people in the class in dresses and skirts. But that's our real life. That's who we are. And I don't want people to change who they are just so that they can feel protected. You can feel protected in any situation. So I'm totally a different person in this field compared to like everybody else teaching self defense, but it's my way.
Yeah.
So it's okay, because come as you are. Like, if you're in heels and a skirt, cool. Like, just face the wall so that everyone's not getting a full show. Like, but we're going to like make sure you learn everything still because that's your outfit.
Love that. So you talked about being real. When you see self-defense stuff happening like on TV and movies, what do you think is the thing they get wrong the most?
Ooh. I mean, let's go with the stranger danger thing
Yeah.
because it's always a stranger that's attacking a woman. The videos on news are always strangers. And
Mm,
that's not what the stats show.
yeah.
It's always something, you know? So I think that's like the number one thing. And then the next is going to be like the different moves. So there are certain, again, there's 1,000 ways to do everything, but on TV, they're going to do a move in a way that looks good for the camera angle, not
Yeah.
necessarily for the actual effectiveness of the move. And it's because they need to look cool on TV.
Mm.
And in real life too, you're not going to be doing like flying kicks and twists arounds and stuff because in real life you're going to do what you have to get away. Whereas on TV, you know, that fight scene is going to be 8 minutes long and backflips and rolling around and crazy stuff. No, that's not real life. Looks so cool, not real life. So I think those are like the two big things, but you know, it makes sense for TV, just not in real life.
Awesome. That does make sense. So if I go to self-defense class, I'm not going to do like a barrel roll and then like
No, like I
for
do teach
eight
you like if
minutes.
somebody's on top of you how to roll them off of you, but like I'm not going to teach you how to like karate flip them and you know make them do a spiral kick. Like no,
I'm going to
and
look
there's
pretty
even
per
things.
se.
Yeah. No, there's even things like when I teach different chokeholds that I'll be like, okay, so this looks great on TV. However, this is real life. Like I do explain
Yeah.
that in classes too because everybody's like, well, I saw it on TV once. Yeah, but like let's go with effective.
Let's go with the thing that works from the professional.
Yeah,
Let me try that.
exactly.
All right. You ready to get into a lightning round?
Let's do it.
Okay. One thing every woman should carry for self-defense.
Ooh, okay. So can I take two different versions of this?
Yeah,
Let's
go.
go. One, I want metal pens. I love tactical pens because they can be brought anywhere. They go through security and everything, and you can use it
Hmm.
effectively. If you're in an area with stun guns, go with the stun gun because the psychological aspect of it, along with the physical aspect of it, works perfect.
Ooh, love that. Okay. Most overrated self-defense move.
Punching. Women should not be punching. You will break fingers and you will hurt yourself more than you will do anything else.
Hmm. What's a red flag people ignore way too much?
People crossing your boundaries and getting into your bubble or testing you a little too much, especially early on.
Hmm. What's one thing a woman over 40 needs to know about self-defense?
Weapons can be your friend. You just need to
Hmm.
know how to use them properly and keep them in your hand because if not, you're going to be on the ground in less than 4 seconds.
Oh, wow. What do you think is something people assume about you that is completely wrong?
Oh, I don't even know how to answer this one. uh, I've gotten a lot of that she doesn't know what she's talking about without looking at any of my credentials.
Hmm. Hmm. That's fair. A compliment that you never get tired of hearing.
Your kids are amazing.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a very good one. What's a green flag people overlook in relationships?
Ooh, confidence. Because a lot of people will twist it for ego
Hmm.
and not knowing the
Uh,
difference between confidence and ego.
that's what I'm like. We're gonna swirl off of that one. We'll
Yeah,
go have the lightning lane because let's figure that one out. Give us difference between confidence and ego. I feel like that's worth delving into for a minute here.
definitely. So confidence is I got this. I've done the training, I've done the education, I've done the planning. I am prepared. I got this. Ego is I don't need that training. I don't need this. I am good the way I am.
Hmm.
That's a big one because it's not coming from a place of preparedness. It's coming from just your ego.
Yeah.
It can also be like in dating, you know, something as simple as confidence is I like you. The way that we're communicating is good. I would like to continue this. Versus this is amazing. You're going to see me again because we're phenomenal together. That would be
Hmm.
more of the ego talking. So I'm more of a I like the confidence, but not the ego.
Love that. Can you tell us about your book?
Yes. So I wrote 5 Steps to Staying Safe Forever. This is my simple version of just how to stay safe in any situation. It breaks down things just like the way I talk. I'm not writing it in an articulated method. It is literally like you're having a conversation with me. And it's five simple steps. I mean, we go into confidence, of course, and we're going into weapons because I love them, self-defense training and everything else in between.
So, who needs this book? Tell me, describe the person who needs this book.
High schoolers, college girls, women. Let's start them young in high school, building their confidence properly and their awareness properly, their training properly, build it into college. College, the first 4 months of your freshman year is the most dangerous time in your life. Let's
Oh,
get them
wow.
trained and educated beforehand so that they don't become a statistic. And women, because we become complacent as we get older, and we are so fixated on taking care of the kids or taking care of the friends or the husband, or I need to build a career, and I don't pay attention to what's going on around me.
Mm. So, get the book. Where can they find this?
Amazon.
Amazon. That's amazing. We are going to take all of Patty's links and link them below. If they just want to, they're going to get your book on Amazon. They want to follow everything else you have to do. Where is best to kind of follow all of your information outside of that? What are your socials like?
Ooh, Defense and Heels for everything. We've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got TikTok. Find us and come follow us.
Excellent. Benson Heels all across the board. Go follow Patti. I think it's important for everyone, even if you're out there and you're like, well, I feel like I'm in a healthy relationship right now. It's all good. People close to you may need to help. And you never know when you're going to be in a situation that requires something like this. So it's a great way for any women of all ages. How old is too old to start figuring some of this out?
Oh, never too young or too old.
That's what I figure. I'm like, women of all ages, because I think it can happen to anyone. And,
Oh, yeah.
I think like women that are elderly, I think elderly abuse is a pretty big thing. And if you're confident and you're aware of your surroundings, then you're going to do a lot better as well. So, with that, thank you so much for coming on and sharing more with us. Patti, I so appreciate you. Follow, like, share, subscribe to Ridiculously You podcast. This has been your host, Julie May, talking to you next time.
Share the spark, take it higher. Hit subscribe, bring a friend. Let the wildness never end. Tap in, stand true. This is your crew.